Welcome to Quarantine Edition with your girl, me, Danii. Today I have a very special guest. She goes by the name of Harry. She's an artist. So we're just going to quickly talk about her background, what got her into music, and much more. Like I say every time, on Quarantine Edition, if you have any questions for her, then please let me know, and I will try and put them forward to you as fast as I can. But yes, guys. Anyway, she's here now, so we're just going to add her in right now. Oh, well, I see, sir.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Oh, you look nice.
Thank you.
Okay. So before I get into anything with you, could you please introduce yourself to us, who you are, what you do, and something we may not know about you?
For sure. So my name is Harry, and I'm a singer-songwriter from London, and I've literally just well, it feels like I've just started my career, really. So I dropped my first single a couple of days ago, which I'm really happy about. We put the track out, we put the visuals out, and yeah, it's all for my pending EP release that's coming soon. Did you say something that people might not know about me?
Yeah, or like a fun fact.
Okay, I guess the fun fact is that this is just my very first project. Like, it's taken a long time to get here. This is my first video, but at the same time, I feel like I've been preparing for this moment my whole entire life. So I feel ready. But yeah, this is just the beginning. I haven't really released any previous projects, and I'm trying to get to that point where I can do music full time, but I'm not there yet. So I do have like my little day job, my muggle jobs, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just going into that quickly, how
Yeah.
do you like balance everything? Because obviously you said that you've been in the IM 4 times. How do you balance everything in between?
So I really, really wish I had an answer because the answer, like, it's very, very difficult. Yeah, I mean, I just don't sleep and I don't really socialize. So for the sake of like, I've been getting away with that during quarantine, because there's not really social events anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, but no, it's hard. I guess I just have to be really disciplined and focus on time management. But it's really difficult when you're trying to chase your dream, but that's not paying the bills yet. So you're trying to juggle both at the same time. It's a challenge. So like,
Oh,
massive
yeah.
shout out to anyone who can relate.
Oh, no, well done. You should still be proud of yourself because you haven't kind of like decided, okay, I'm gonna come back to it. You're still balancing it, and the more you progress with it, the more you're doing your other job as well at the same time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your kind of background like? How was it for you, with your upbringing? Like, what even got you into this field?
So I have been a massive music fan since I was little, like my parents and my whole household was. And as a kid, I did a lot of theatre and stuff like that. So I trained
Hmm.
quite a bit, more on the acting side of things. And then when I was a teen, I just kind of lost all confidence, like all confidence. And I also thought I was going to be like an academic. And it wasn't until I was about 18, 19, I was like, hang on, I love music. I love writing songs. I'm actually pretty good at writing songs. And this is a career option for me. So from then, I just started to experiment with like different producers, and I've always been writing. And yeah, as of like the past year, I'd say I've really figured out who I am as a person, and that
Hmm.
in turn helped me figure out who I wanted to be as an artist. And then since then, I've just been using my songwriting and as of recently videos, just as like the ultimate form of self-expression to kind of get my art out there. So yeah,
That's
I think that.
amazing. You see? Yeah, no, you definitely answered it. You did. All right, so just quickly, just going into it, who would you say is someone who inspires you when it comes to songwriting?
Um, there's a few top writers that I love. The first two,
Hmm.
I would probably have to say Ed Sheeran and Sam Smith. As far as writers go, I feel like they're elite. And then inspiration in general is probably based off the first album I ever bought, which was The Diary of Alicia Keys. And I think, yeah, the tones of that, like lyrically, musically, is something that's just like implemented in my brain when it comes to creating music. I can't help, it's like become a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
down to like video ideas, which you'll see in due course. But yeah, no, she was my number one growing up. So yeah.
Oh, come on, you named really good people. Come on, as soon as you said it, she really Alicia Keys. I was just like, yeah. But yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
And what would you classify your genre as? Or are you open to it, or do you have a particular genre for it? Like, what is it for you?
I would call it rhythm and groove. So it's heavily, heavily R&B inspired. I do like my soul music. I like jazz, and I think I've just tried to kind of mesh them all together to create bodies of work that I like. And it seems that other people are feeling it as well. So I'm going to keep going in that direction, I think. But
Yeah,
I
no,
am open. I've experimented with all different types of genres, as I say. But as of recently,
definitely.
I feel like I found what I enjoy, what I like, and what I'm good at. So I'm gonna stay in my lane. Yeah, rhythm and groove.
Rhythm and groove. See, yeah, people already catching to it, going, okay, we've got it
It's a
now.
thing.
Now in
Let's
our head.
make it a thing.
Perfect. Yeah, literally. No, that's amazing. I like that. All right then. So rhythm and groove.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So overall, when it comes to your artist list, who would be
Uh-huh.
in your top five?
Top five artists,
Yeah,
like of all time.
of all time. It could be any choice, any country, just your top five list.
So okay, so I have to start with Michael Jackson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then I have to put Alicia Keys in there, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have to put Beyonce in there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to put Ed Sheeran in there.
Yeah.
Brings me to four. Oh, the fifth slot, I kind of have to leave for whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, oh wait, how dare I not say Chris Brown? How dare? Anyway, so he's in there because he's like the first love of my life slash just my favorite artist ever. But yeah, no, at the moment, I have to say I'm really feeling Trevor Jackson. I don't know if you listened to his album that he just dropped,
Yeah.
but he's absolutely fine. If you haven't listened to his album, like listen to it. His
Yeah.
vocals are amazing.
Oh, you got good. You was quick, It didn't even take you long. You was just like, yep, yep, this person, this person, this
That was me. Like,
person.
I don't know what you're gonna ask, but I'm just gonna
There you go,
say
I
what comes
see.
to
All
mind.
right, so out of the people that you've picked, who would you say you'd want to collab with? And this could be like a new coming song that you have that is not out yet. This could be an old song, just a remix to it. But yeah, out of the five, who would you say and why?
Uh, See, I have to say, because of my current obsession, that it would literally, like, I would have made it in life if I could collaborate with Trevor Jackson. He's just
Mm.
like a god to me right now. So yeah.
Triple J.
And then there's other artists that come to mind. I didn't mention. I've been a believer since like from day. So
Oh, oh,
so
wow,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I really love Justin Bieber, and I also love, like, especially with the new album and stuff. His lyrical content touches me differently. So
Hmm.
it'd be amazing to kind of collaborate on the writing side of things. And there's an amazing handful of UK writers as well. So I'm
Hmm.
kind of just figuring it out. So those are my ideas for now. But as I say, I'm just kind of just made my first project and just figuring out who, because there's the artists that you love and there's the artists that it would make sense to collaborate with, and they don't
Yeah.
always overlap. Yeah, so
Mhm.
still that
Yeah,
out.
no, that makes sense. No, definitely. Okay, interested. All right. So, girl, I'm just quickly gonna go into your song, okay, called Cravings, right?
Mhm.
So, so, how did it begin? How did you pick this song choice, and how did you know how you wanted the music video to be? Like, tell us all about it.
Okay. So I actually wrote my EP's done, um,
Hmm.
and we've got a date in mind. So I wrote that in the first lockdown, because yeah, I was just home alone, and it was a nice opportunity for creators to kind of just
Hmm.
explore. Um, and the EP is called Fictional Romance, um, because there was no romance in my life, so I was just writing little love stories.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and then I was just kind of writing a bunch of songs on a daily basis, and at that time, it would literally be I write, record, send it to maybe 3 friends consistently, and then get their feedback. And Craving, the song that I just released, was probably in lockdown one, I'd probably say it was in the first 10 songs that I wrote. Not all of them made it to the EP because I didn't have an EP in mind when I started writing. But yeah, I wrote it, and then it was the second track I wrote where I was like, do you know what? This is going to be EP material. And because of the storyline and the theme of the song, it just made sense for it to come first. Because as you'll see when I drop the EP, I'm trying to build feelings. Like I'm trying to get the feelings to build deeper as you go from song to song. So the first one essentially is just like, it's quite lustful, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
wanted to start there. And yeah, as I say, it was just kind of expression doesn't exist. That's why I got some people messaging me. And I think some men are listening to it like, oh, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because it was just me and like my imagination. And normally as people, you don't like, express like fantasies and stuff like that. But the great thing about being a songwriter slash artist is it's your art. So you can share
Yeah,
how you were thinking in that moment, which is
exactly.
what I done.
No,
So
definitely.
yeah.
That is, do you know what? That just
With
shows
the
how creative you
video,
are. Oh,
oh, so,
sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're
Sorry.
um,
Go on.
yeah, no. So with the video, I had a few ideas of what I wanted to do, and then I kind of
Mhm.
worked together with my management, who are amazing. I love them. We worked together and we got this treatment, and I looked at it and I was like, do you know what? This depicts the song perfectly.
Mhm.
So I had in mind, I wanted it to be quite grown. Obviously, it's the theme is quite mature. But I still wanted it to be tasteful. But I wanted to build that tension because I feel like the song in itself has got a lot of tension and yeah, and I think we really pulled it off. The chemistry was good, like the acting was good. Everybody that was on the team did amazingly, and we just captured everything that I wanted to. So it couldn't have gone better. But having said that, it is, as I say, my first video. So I'm just
Mhm.
excited to build from there. I'm really happy to have that as a starting point, and I think it's just everything's just going to get bigger and better going forward. So yeah,
Oh God, no, honestly, I could just say it is actually, I'm really so happy for you because I did look at the music video and I just love the creativity to it. Do you know what I mean? So obviously hearing the process behind it when it came to the visuals to what you want your listeners to hear, as you said, your
yeah,
EP is going to be from a lustful kind of experience to it going into even more expression. It's just like, okay, so
hmm
you're really trying to make us think and really try and feel and create imagery in our head with this. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, no, that's amazing. I like it. And do you know what? For a second, okay, obviously because I've been preying your Instagram, I've seen that you're into books. So it makes me kind of understand you more when it comes to your creativity and your imagination. Because like you said, like, that love that you didn't have before. And I'm thinking, oh, so okay, am I right? Am I wrong with that? You've been like reading can help as well with that.
Do you know what? You're spot on in a way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love reading. I've always been a frequent reader. And as a kid, I used to read, well, as a teen especially, I used to read a lot of fiction. Um, and even with with books that are more targeted at kids, like teen
Hmm.
romance and stuff like that, I used to love that. And I used to get completely locked in the story. So that was kind
Yeah.
of the idea, especially for the title of the EP, like fictional romance. I was like, authors put it onto paper and I'm going to put it into song. And I would hope that some women could also let the songs take them away with the fairies. Having said that, I've had a lot of male friends that have let the song take them away with the fairies, which has been nice. But I can't say that it was inspired by books as of recently. I guess just where I don't have as much free time as I'd hoped for. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily have the time to read non-fiction these days. I read a lot, but it's usually fiction. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm not reading it, but I'm just trying to write it and put it out there through song and visuals. So yeah.
Yeah, but guys, go and check it out because it's such a good song. Go give it a like, subscribe, and share because, guys, you really understand more of what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Because some of you probably thinking, wait, really? Okay. You've got the behind the scenes info, so you could go see it for yourselves. But yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so what are we expected to see more of you when it comes to your songs? Are there going to be future collaborations we could look out for?
Okay, so as I said, the EP is coming out shortly, and if
Hmm.
you like the track Craving, then I can just guarantee you that you're going to enjoy the EP.
Hmm.
It's soulful, it's very R&B influenced, and there's just a lot more of where that came from, basically. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, so we're just in the process of putting visuals together, and I'm just trying to tell a story. That's the thing. The second single that we're going to drop soon is
Mhm.
a re- it's the first song that I actually wrote from the EP, and I just love how it takes you on a journey. And I'm hoping that other people kind of tap into that as well. I mean, I have big dreams. Obviously, you have to. So I am
Mhm.
hoping that I will get to collaborate with other artists. And for me, I want to expand my writing at this stage. So I'm
Mhm.
hoping once it gets out there, that can set me up for some opportunities to kind of build my skill and learn from
Mhm.
others in that sense. And fingers crossed, once all this madness is over, there's going to be the opportunity to push it through performance as well, which is it's been really, really, really hard. I can't explain how
Mhm.
like mentally difficult it's been to put out a release and not have the opportunity to push it with performance. Like even
Yeah.
aside from the release, I think all artists are itching to get back on stage right now. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, to have a release and be like, I can't even. Obviously, you get love online and you get love from your friends, and that's nice. But there's something
Mhm.
about the energy in a live setting where you're like, wow, people are feeling my music. So to have not
Yeah.
had that, it's been
Mhm.
tough. But as I say, I just got to be grateful for the fact that we still managed to put it out because I didn't want to delay the release because we don't know
Yeah.
when we're going to be
Yeah.
allowed to do all these things. So I thought I'd just get it
Mhm.
out. I'm grateful that we managed to do that. And yeah, just looking forward and preparing myself for the opportunity to get out there and perform. So yeah, fingers crossed I can build that way. And then yeah, we're aiming for tours eventually. So I've said it, I've put it out there, and we'll see
Yep,
what happens.
manifestation. There we
Yeah,
go. Prayers there. Yeah, no, definitely. No, that's amazing. I'm glad that you have a plan. You know where you want to see yourself. You know where you want
for
to go,
sure.
which is good. It could give you that motivation because, like you said, we've obviously been restricted with COVID. You wasn't
Yeah,
able to perform, so it can be quite hard, especially as an artist. So I feel like what you've done, you should be proud. You've really come so far, which is really good. You know what I mean? And you've pushed yourself. What can you say has kept you going when it's gotten really hard?
um, there's been a couple times, as I said, I feel like my career has just started, but I've been
Hmm.
working towards it for years, just figuring out who I am and what I want to do. And there's been times where I'm
Hmm.
sure everyone can relate, especially as a creative, where you feel deflated. Um,
Mm.
because it's really hard. You know, one day you can have, it feels like you've got a billion doors open and there's opportunities left, right, and center, and then the next day it's like, oh. So it can be so
Mm.
deflating, especially when everybody has an opinion about what you should be doing, and everybody knows a
Mm.
guy that can, help you and put you in this position. It's like you really just need to help yourself. So there's
Yeah.
been times where I've just felt like industry wise, this feels like mission impossible right now. And when
Mm.
that happens, I just take some time out. If I don't feel like singing, I'm not going to force
Hmm.
it. If I don't feel like writing, I'm not going to force it.
Yeah.
Just take some time out to quality time with myself. And then eventually, if that's what you want to do, like within yourself, the inspiration comes just naturally. Um,
Hmm.
and then, yeah, just anytime that I've been put off by the industry, I've just taken a step back and taken the time to fall in love with music again, which I think is so important. Like, just remind yourself why you're doing it.
Hmm.
And the way I feel about music, there's no other option for me. It's going to be hard. And as I said, things have just started. So it's going to be, um, difficult. There's going to be more deflating moments. But at the end of the day, you've got to pick your struggles. And I would rather have the struggles of working hard to try to build something than the struggle of, oh, I didn't even attempt to achieve my purpose. So there's no
Yeah.
option of stopping, like, whatsoever.
Yeah. No, that's a good mindset to have. I like how you've kind of given yourself that chance where it's like, okay, you're not going to force anything. You're just going to come as yourself as an artist.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard it gets, you're always going to look at what you would prefer. Because I feel that's very important, especially like when you kind of lose that sometimes and you don't see clearly because you're so deep in the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I feel like that's really good. I hope you guys can take something out of that, by the way. You know what I mean? Take something and because it's true. Also what you said about the opportunity to just kind of
Hmm.
put yourself on.
Hmm.
Could you elaborate more into that, please?
How do you mean? Sorry, what did I say? I've said so
So,
many.
you said about everyone knows someone who can do something for you, but it's best you just kind of do it yourself.
Yeah, so it's coming out of that mindset of thinking, okay. So obviously, when it comes to success and whatever it is that you're doing, a lot of that
Hmm.
stems from doing the groundwork. So you've got to work hard, you've got to keep going, you've got to be self-disciplined, and yeah, as I say, there's no option of stopping. But then I think there's always this secret niggling feeling where it's like, I wish that an opportunity would just come my way, because you see people getting lucky if you like.
Hmm.
So when you're putting in the work, um, and you're putting in the prayers and you're just hoping really hard, it's like, okay, next, could I just have an opportunity come my way? And I think in the past, like in my younger years, I ended up riding on that, and
Mm.
it's just that kind of pinnacle moment where you're like, that might not happen. I mean, obviously we hope
Hmm.
and pray that that will happen, but it might not happen, so you can't depend on that. The only person you can depend on is yourself, as cliche as that sounds. And the only thing
Hmm.
you can depend on is your work ethic, because if you continue with that, there's just no option for failure. I mean, there's loads of things that come into play in success. And I have to say as well, obviously, the people around you. And that's
Hmm.
something over the past year has been like, I'm so grateful for, because I feel like I've built an amazing team.
Hmm.
And yeah, to just have people around you that also believe in the vision, because people's energy can be toxic, and
Yeah,
that can really kind
definitely.
of block you from going in the direction you want to do. And as I say, people give you advice, but you have to remember
Hmm.
everybody's advice is completely capped to their own personal life experiences. So sometimes it's not going to be relevant to you. Like the amount of
Yeah.
friends and industry people have said, oh no, I think you should do this sound, or I think you should look like this, I think you should wear this, I think you should go for this appeal. And it's like, wait, I understand that it's a business, but at the same time, it's an art form, and I'm trying to express
Hmm.
myself. So, with all due respect, as much as I can
Hmm.
appreciate advice, and I've had amazing advice from a lot of people, no one can tell me how to express my art. That doesn't really make sense. So, yeah,
Hmm.
so it's just kind of taking ownership of who you are, who you want to be, and what you're going to do to get there. So that's been a really
Yeah.
nice turning point, because I'm not depending on anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh no, that's yeah, what you said, I 110% agree with, especially when you talked about the advice bit as well, because it's like everyone's gonna give you advice depending on what they've experienced or what they believe is true. So it may not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
be the case for you. And like you said, it's always to do with like yourself, your self-expression. So the way you do
Yeah.
something, you're always gonna want to make sure you're being true to yourself. So there's that one as well. You know what I mean? Definitely. Obviously you spoke about bad energy as well. So my question to you is, how do you deal with like if you got bad comments or people who are just trying to bring you down? Like how do you deal with that?
Um, I don't have a massive problem with that these days, to be honest.
Hmm.
And not music related anyway. I would like to think that um, people like what I'm doing. And if they don't, then they won't like it, and that's fine. I just want to filter those people out and just attract the people that
Exactly.
are supportive and stuff like that. Um, but anytime I have received negative things, I mean, come on, block, block and delete. That's
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
don't mind.
Yeah. And I like that. You're quick with it. You're just like, yep, it is what it is.
I
Like,
don't have time.
I'm just gonna block
Furthermore,
you.
yeah, I don't know you, so yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely, definitely. Okay, so this is gonna sound so cliche and cheesy, but it's interesting. Like, I want to ask you this. So, if you could look back to when you was like 18, 19 years old, someone who's trying to find their feet and figure out like how they want to get into the scene, what would you advise yourself for then that you wish you knew before you got into the scene?
Oh, it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult, because
Mm.
when I was around that age, YouTube was still kind of the main place for a come up, and I really wish I'd used that as a platform. Like Instagram is great and all these other forms of social media are great, but YouTube
Mhm.
really is your own business if you can build that. And that
Yeah.
kind of ties into what I was saying before about trying to get other opportunities from people. Obviously, networking is important and collaborations are important, but you need to build something for yourself. So I think I
Yeah.
would advise people, like with YouTube and stuff, if you're going to start with small numbers, start with small numbers, but at least
Mhm.
that is your own thing. Like, do you know what I mean? You own that and you can, yeah. So, yeah, I think just believe in yourself. And if you start with one fan, then
Mhm.
that's everybody has to start somewhere. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm like not worrying too much about numbers and things like that, because I would rather authentically build a fan base of people that genuinely love my music, that appreciate my writing, that want to hear more from me, that want to come
Mhm.
to my shows. So those are
Yeah.
the people that matter. And I think, yeah, just by not losing sight of that, I
Mhm.
think you can go far. And I think I did, that was something that I wasn't really aware of when I was young. And I used to listen to people. Um, and I want to disclaim again, because it's not to say I'm not grateful. I have had great advice, but when you've got people coming at you from all angles, telling you what you should do, what you should look like, what you should sound like, it just kind of blocks your mental clarity. And without mental
Mhm.
clarity, how on earth are you supposed to express yourself or figure out what it is that you're supposed to do? So
Exactly.
yeah, take time for yourself, because that was actually the first time that I realized music is the only option for me career wise. As in, I could easily have had other options, and as I say, I still got my jobs that I'm doing now, but it was the only thing that was going to bring me true happiness.
Mhm.
So yeah, not listening to people too much and telling them what you should do with your life. Can't believe I ever did that to begin with, but I was young. And to spend
Mhm.
time with yourself. Yeah, take time with yourself, because when I went to uni for the first time, that was probably the first time in my life that I was forced to be alone. And that's when
Mhm.
you have those light bulb moments where you're like, hang on, I don't like doing that. That brings me no satisfaction, or I love this. And furthermore, oh, I'm pretty good at this. And it's those
Mhm.
moments that I think push you to go down the right path. It's not going to be anybody else. Obviously, you have
Mhm.
supporters, but you need to figure it out for yourself first.
Yeah.
And I did that a little bit later than I would have liked to. But
Mhm.
at the same time, as much as these are things that I would advise my younger self and things that I may have changed, no regrets. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
everything in God's time, I'm ready now. There's been times before where I felt I was ready and I wasn't. I didn't even know like who I was. There's a lot of soul searching that you need to do. And I think as artists, people always say, oh, you need to figure out what your sound is and what kind of artist do you want to be. But no one ever told me figure out who you are as a person. No one ever told me that. And I had to figure that out
Mhm.
myself. And
Mhm.
that's one of the hardest things that you do in life, is that general discovery of yourself and who you are. That moment where you're like, are my morals my own? Or are my morals my family's, or my mum's, or my boyfriend's, or whatever it is?
Mhm.
And yeah, like, what do I want to do with these ideas? Mine, etc. So I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, no, figure out who you are as a person. That's the difficult bit. And I feel like once you've done that, everything
Mhm.
else follows pretty easily. You don't have to spend time struggling. Oh, what kind of artist do I want to be? What kind of music do I want to make? It's like, well, I know myself, so that's no longer a challenge. So that's
Yeah.
probably the key thing I would say to anyone in life, but especially as creatives, figure out who you are as a person, and the artistry will just follow. Yeah.
Mhm. The wise words from the one and only, guys. I hope you're noting that down, taking some of the stuff down, because you said a lot of things that is just so crucial. And I feel like it's something that, especially with soul searching, finding
Yeah.
yourself, knowing what you want to do, I feel that is something that is in everything that you have to,
Yeah.
it helps you know what you want to do. So to know from you that, okay, that's something you prioritize yourself,
Hmm.
and then went off of that and left in God's hands. That kind of just, that's inspiring, because it's like you don't really hear of much. It's like everyone's just listening to everyone else, and it's like it's a bit
Yeah,
hard to actually have your own opinion and know what you want to do. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. I just can't believe that nobody tells you that. Like, it breaks my heart a little
Mm.
bit that nobody tells you that. Like, even if you go back to school, it's like, forget English, forget math. Like, teach people how to connect with themselves and figure out who they are. Like, that's the most valuable lesson there is. And
Yeah.
I didn't even truly realize that until last year lockdown. I'm not gonna lie. That,
Mm.
you know, everybody talks about self-love and things like that. It's like, what does that mean? And I feel like so many people just go through life not really knowing who they are, and that's going to be a massive detriment,
Yeah.
especially to your craft. So yeah, absolutely, it's key.
No, definitely. 110%. 110%, girl. So, because that went into advice as well. So I've got three more questions for you. So,
Okay.
out of everything you've done so far, what can you say you're most proudest of? And this could be anything, by the way. I'm not limiting it for you, but yeah.
I am proud of the fact that I feel like my balls have dropped. I don't feel like that's the proper way to say it, but in the sense that, yeah, I know who I am and I can take advice from other people, but my
Hmm.
goal is so set. Like, I just know exactly where I'm going, that nothing can distract me from that. And we live in a world where there's distractions everywhere. So if you can find a way to stay focused, then yeah, that you should be proud of yourself, as I
Hmm.
am. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. But yeah. Okay. So my second question to you is, if you could perform at any festival anywhere, where would you perform at and why?
Oh, that's really hard. Do you know why that's really hard? Because I haven't actually been to that many festivals.
Oh, no, but even if it's something that you want to tick off your bucket list, that's fine.
Something I want to tick off my bucket list.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be over the moon to do any festival. I guess right now, just the main desire I have is to perform.
Hmm.
And yeah, since I was little, and especially over the past year where I've been trying to really focus on manifestations and things like that, it's just about tours. Like, I just want to have the opportunity to go and spread my music
Hmm.
worldwide. It's a big dream, but it's one that I've always had, and it's one that I'm going to stick with and keep manifesting and keep working towards. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, definitely. Okay, no, I'm loving it. And I'm loving the consistency as well. Guys, the consistency is key, honestly. You know?
yeah,
But
that's,
yeah, okay, so we're coming to my big, 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 big question. This is massive.
I
So I
mean,
hope you're ready for you. Are you ready for this question?
yeah, go on.
Okay, cool. So my question to you is, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Ooh. Oh, did it have to be so hard? um, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Well, okay, obviously there's the music side of things. I
Hmm.
want to leave a good body of work that inspires
Hmm.
people. As I say, the Diary of Alicia Keys is an album from what, like 2003, I think.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. Sorry. Um, and that's still something that I hold so dear to me. So it's like, you can make one album and you never know, that album could get somebody out of a dark place. Like, it could literally save someone's life, as dramatic as it sounds. It's big facts. Like,
Hmm.
it could inspire someone to follow their own path, whether that's music, or even if it's lyrical content and inspires them to do something else. So in terms of music, based off how it's impacted me, if I could implement a small amount of that in my artistry and the music that I make, that would be everything.
Hmm.
And then second of all, I mean, just as a person, which you might have figured out just from us talking here today, but yeah, just to inspire people to keep going and to follow their path, because it's so easy to get distracted. Like, just as an example, I was quite an academic kid,
Hmm.
so where everybody was pushing me in that direction, I thought that was the right thing to do. There's nothing wrong with that, but just because I was good at that, it doesn't mean that that's what's gonna give me satisfaction. It doesn't mean that that's what my intended purpose is.
Hmm.
So yeah, if I could inspire people to um, kind of stay true to their path, that would be nice as well. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what comes to mind with that very difficult
See,
question.
that wasn't hard, was it? No, you did good. You did good. I'm loving this. I'm very sure you'll be able to achieve that legacy that you want. Do you know what I mean? So there's no doubt in that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, Harry, thank you so much for coming to speak
Uh,
to me
no.
as we're sadly near the end. Um, just quickly looking through the comments before I end the interview. Someone said that you should have your own TV show. I saw that by the way, but yeah.
I would love that, but you would catch me doing a lot of very embarrassing things. But yeah, no, it would be entertaining. Maybe one day we'll see.
Yeah, man, it'll be lit. We'll be able to know even more about you. Do you know what I mean? It'll be sick. It'll be
Yeah,
sick.
I'm
Scarborough.
opposed to that kind of thing. I feel like I'm a very open person. I don't have
Hmm.
shame because I'm just happy with who I am, and yeah, I'm quite friendly, quite bubbly, so I don't mind sharing or oversharing. Sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah. And I see people love that. They love character and they love bubbliness. So yeah, they'll be able to take to you. Because look, first time you speak to you, I click with you. I'm just like, oh yeah, nice,
Oh,
friendly, what? Yeah, so it's all good, still good. Scarborough as well, shout out to her. She said, trust me, performing live is the one. So
can't wait. Literally can't.
yeah, don't worry. Soon come, soon come. You know, when they start up again, then be able to see all you amazing artists perform, which I can't wait for. But
Um,
yeah, also let me know if you perform somewhere as well.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. But again, thank you so much for joining me. It was really lovely speaking to you.
Uh,
Is there anything you may want to add or say before you go?
other than go and watch the video again, if you've already watched it, and if you haven't watched it, then please, yeah, go to my profile. I don't just I don't do many lives. It comes up at the top right, so people can easily go
Oh
and then
yeah,
find the link in
yeah.
the bio.
Hmm.
Yeah, so go stream Craving, and as I say, if you like the vibe of that, then keep waiting for the EP because there's just going to be more and more of that vibe, and I think people will like it. So
You
yeah,
heard it here first, guys. Don't say we didn't tell you. She said
yeah.
it. So. But again, I hope you have a good evening. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
man, just enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone that tuned in.
Aw, no problem, no problem. But yeah, anyway, we'll speak to you soon.
All
And
right.
yeah, guys, follow her. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and you know how to keep updated with her. But yeah.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.
take care. Bye. So there we go. That was Harry, guys.